And just starting to work through the sides of the spine. Direct your spinning muscles. You can lean to one side and let your head drop to the other side. Just back and forth a few more times. And then you can start moving the arms like you're making a snow angel. You can also, like, if I lean over to the left, it kind of pushes that right shoulder blade out, and you can just focus on like one arm at a time. So if I'm leaning to the left, the roller's more on my right side. I'm going to move that right arm. And finishing up on both sides. And then you're just going to stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out. Your arms could be in a Y position, a T position. Just big inhale right there. Exhale, you can roll over to your side and help yourself up, or just start to lift your head. Use your hands to help yourself up. And then you'll turn your roller the other direction. And then you'll lean back. We're going to start by rolling out the glutes. So the whole gluteal area, you're leaning over. And then just going all the way to the top of that hip. Maybe doing some little tiny rolls around the hip crest. And then kind of exploring from there. You can go kind of to the side a little bit and then all the way down to the sit bone, kind of just leaning all directions. Who has never taken this class before? You haven't? Okay, a lot of you, okay. So yeah, right now you can probably tell if the roller is the right pressure. If it's too hard and you're like punching your jaw, then you'll want to go to like a pink roller. But if you feel like, it's okay or you're not feeling much, feel free to use a black one. Depending on the area that we're in, like especially like IT bands are sensitive, like that's going to be a lot different than say like your back, so or your glutes. All right, so if you want a little more on this side, you can cross that right leg over and just see how that feels. If that's too much, then of course release that leg. And so people use a roller usually for IT bands, back. So I kind of leave the IT band for towards the end because it is so intense. I try and release the muscles around the IT band before I go there. But one thing you can do is start to roll the side of the hip here. So the IT band, we've got the tensor fascia latae, and then we've got the glute med at the top of the hip crest, and then it becomes the IT band. So you can start to release those muscles a little bit, and then by the time you get to the IT band, it's not as intense. So if you want, try a little side hip there. If you don't like it, that's okay. We'll come back to it in a little while. Maybe by then it'll be a little bit softer. All right, let's move that to the other side. Oh, we're getting quite a bit of snow now. Okay, left side. I'm getting pretty low. So think of like, the tops of your pants. Feel the hip until it kind of moves into your low back. And then all the way down until your sit bone is on top. That's the range you're working on. Yeah, I was wondering why I was driving up and I was like, why are none of the lifts running? But I wonder if this is the first week where they're not doing the full week anymore. Oh, nice. You gonna get up early for Thursday? It should be nice. Okay. Yeah, get in line early. Good. You can cross over on this side if you want. A little more. And using your breath, especially when you find those points where there's like a sharp shooting or like a burning sensation. If it's sharp shooting, it probably wouldn't stay there. But if it's like a kind of a burning sensation, like you're like pause and close your eyes and just relax, try and get it to release. All right, moving over to that side hip if you want. If you want to save that for later, we'll have another chance to do that. All right, finish up glutes there. And then let's go up and then we'll come back and go down. So I'm gonna go to low back. You're just gonna take your hands behind you. Just start to move into low back, tops of the hips. So connective tissue, if you're not sure what that is, it's a web of tissue that runs throughout the whole body, encapsulates muscle fibers, it's everywhere. Let's go to mid back now, and then you're gonna support your head. So if you think about like food, like cutting into a steak, and you see that fascia that slides and moves. You want it to slide and move and not harden. You can also think of like a clementine, how the white fibrous tissue encapsulates those little juice pockets. All right, so slowly you're gonna start going to your upper back. You can still work on lower back if you feel like you're needing more time there. But you're kind of just like free to go all the way down to low back, mid back, upper back, maybe even work on some spinal extension, some range of motion, flexibility through the spine. So I like to pause with my hips down, shoulder blades on top. I just kind of work through extension, a little bit of lateral flexion. And noticing your breath as you're going to those maybe tougher areas, tighter areas. Are you holding the breath? That's not very helpful in releasing the tension. So big inhale, big exhale, and notice how when you breathe, especially in the exhale, how your body starts to soften and release. Let's go about 5 more breaths here on the back. And just another option. We're going to go through shoulders, but you can lift your hips like in a bridge and lean your head back, kind of get more towards the backs of the shoulders, traps. All righty. Let's go ahead and set the hips down, but before you do that, so lift the hips up, scoot your hips to the left, and then roll over to your right lat. So you're facing the mirror. Yep. So the lateral side of your shoulder blade is on top, and you're just doing these micro rolls. And I'll either come over there in a minute so you can see what I'm doing, or yeah, I'll come over there if you can't see me. Probably can't see me. So just trusting my voice, and if I do something different here, then I'll come on over. So you're just starting by just doing tiny little shifts, a little bit forward, a little bit back, moving that shoulder blade as it presses into the roller, letting it kind of come in towards your spine. If you want more intensity, you're pushing that shoulder blade down into the roller. So you feel that difference? If you let that shoulder blade kind of settle inward, or if you push that shoulder blade down into the roller, it's going to feel a little bit different. Yeah. Okay. All right. If I come here, can you see me for the most part? You're going to now roll toward your chest. So the space in between your shoulder and your chest. Yep. Where we tend to, when we're driving, working on a computer, there's internal rotation. We're going to try and open that up a little bit. So let your arm kind of come back to the back of the room. And then we're going to roll back all the way back. So you're doing the zigzag motion over your armpit and then towards your back. Okay? So keep working on that. If you find any knots, you can pause, breathe through it, close your eyes. Hopefully it'll release for you. If you have questions, you can call me over. How's that? If you're right-handed, it might be kind of intense, yeah? You feel some tension in there? Yep. So try, instead of just going forward and back, try to actually zigzag as you go forward, as you go back. Breathing. Let's do one more round. Alrighty. So now we're going to take the elbow up and over the roller. Your left shoulder is going to be slightly behind your right shoulder. So your posterior deltoid, back of the shoulder, is getting that attention now. And if you have loose hair, it can get stuck under that roller. So if you have a hoodie or something hanging, make sure you tuck it out of the way. All right, back of the shoulder. We're not spending too much time on the shoulders. I'll give you some time at the end to come back to some of these areas if you need to. We're going to go to middle deltoid, middle of the shoulder. So now your shoulders are completely stacked. You're just letting some body weight come down into that right shoulder. And if you're noticing tension in your neck, perhaps you're releasing your head here or letting your head hang or looking down, maybe even massaging your neck on the left side. Okay, we kind of got that crease in between the chest and the anterior delt. Let's focus now on that anterior delt. As you take your arm up and over towards the door, you're leaning towards your belly, and then you're kind of reaching to that back corner of the room, thumb down, front of the shoulders is getting massaged. You kind of move into that crease between the shoulder and chest again. And really breathing here, because we can hold a lot of tension in our shoulders. Maybe let your chin rest on your roller so your head doesn't have to be held up by your neck. Or you can have your cheek on the roller. Check in with your breath, about 3 more breaths. Maybe you're getting into the chest a little bit here. All right. Let's take a little break here, do some stretching of that shoulder. So we'll start, just take your right hand to your right shoulder, and then you're just going to circle it around. Yeah, perfect. And go the other way. And sit up nice and tall. Open up in the chest, cross that arm over your chest, and then catch that arm. So once you catch the arm, make this right arm kind of push back into the left arm, and that's going to open up those rhomboids and post-delts. If you're noticing tension in the neck, maybe move the head around. And shoulder mobility, elbow up, push from the front or up and over the head, pull that arm back. Just with your right hand, just kind of massaging that shoulder, the traps. And finish off with some more movements through that shoulder, some circles, stretches, whatever you need here. And let's go to the other side. So you're going to face the pool, and we're rolling first towards the lat, teres minor major, and then in a minute, we'll go through that zigzag over the armpit and then into the chest. But start with just feeling that shoulder blade pressing down into the roller. You can go a little lower for your left if you want. We didn't really do that on the other side. Personally, I don't really like it because it just pushes into the ribs. It just doesn't feel good to me, but you're welcome to try it. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Long, lengthened breaths. All right, so you can add in those zigzags. start by actually leaning back a little bit so your shoulder blades on top. And then roll through that lateral side of the shoulder blade over your armpit into the chest a little bit between the shoulder and the chest. Zigzag, zigzag, back and forth. Sometimes that fascia gets a little bit stubborn if it doesn't get moved, or if there's an injury, it doesn't get worked. And so we're using this zigzag motion to help break up tight tissue, get better mobility in our shoulders, better blood flow through that area. So don't be afraid to breathe deep, because if you can hear your breath, and your neighbor can hear your breath, it might inspire them to breathe a little deeper. Let's go about 2 more rounds back and forth with the zigzag. All right. So to work that post belt, so back of the shoulder, elbow up and over, back of the shoulder pressing in. Again, that top shoulder is slightly behind. Your neck's not going to probably love this for a minute because it has to hold the head up from the lateral position. So, but in a moment, we'll stretch that out. All right, go ahead and stack now. So scoot that left shoulder back underneath you. Now your shoulders are stacked. You can look down now. You can massage the right side of your neck. All right, let's go to the front of the shoulder. Elbow up and over. Straighten that left leg. Kind of scoot your hips back. Roll toward your belly. Chin on top or cheek, and then extend your left arm kind of towards that back corner where the mirror meets the back wall. So your arm could be like a clock dial. Really, you could keep moving it a couple of inches, either direction, and you're going to feel something different every time. And letting your body weight push you down into the roller. Alrighty, we'll slowly help ourselves up. How is that side? A little better? Maybe the same? Alright, yeah. Let's take that hand on the shoulder and just rotate. Go the other way. And then cross the arm in front, extend the arm, and then hook the left arm. So instead of like just pulling it in and just letting the arm come in, actually push your left arm into your right arm. That's going to open up underneath the shoulder blade a little bit more, give a better stretch. From there you can kind of work out through the neck, the head around, side to side. All right, shoulder mobility. You're taking that left elbow up, push from the front or up overhead, whatever you prefer. Just trying to get through some, this is extension, this is flexion of the shoulder. Stretching. And then you can use your left hand if you want to massage that shoulder. Pinch out the neck, make sure the neck's not holding extra tension. And finish out there, you can shake the arm out. You can roll it out some more. Do another stretch. All right. Okay, gone all the way up the body. Let's go down the body from the glutes to hamstrings and calves. And we'll be done with the back body. So we did glutes, so let's go to hammies. So this one, if your wrists get tired, you come up to knuckles or fists or fingertips. You're pushing your legs into the roller back and forth. Clear it up fast. All right, so when you're doing hamstrings, you can internally rotate your femur bones. You can externally rotate. So you can kind of lean to one side or the other side. And so these tendons, these tendons don't like to be rolled. So you want to stay pretty high up away from this area, more at the belly of the muscles. All right, let's take a pause and then we'll come back to that. So let your knees just sit on top. Inhale, reach to sky, and exhale, fold forward. Big back body stretch. All right, let's go back to hamstrings. Do a few more passes back and forth. If you're feeling like you're not getting in there deep enough, you can always pick up a block roller. Okay, feeling this? Yeah? Okay. Yeah? If you've been skiing, I forget because I haven't, well, I snowboard, but I haven't been out there for at least a couple months. So it's like my hamstrings aren't feeling much here, but if I've been skiing or riding, definitely. So you might feel this more if you've been more active than myself. So we're kind of like testing the waters towards the IT band now. So kind of lean over to one side, lean over to the other side. And let's relax here for a moment. We're gonna take the legs wider this time. Inhale, reach to sky. Exhale, walk your hands forward, getting more into the adductors. All right, walk your hands back. Let's finish off the back of the body with calves. So calves on top, and you're just kind of starting at the more belly part of the muscles, and then back and forth. You can just stay seated if you want. You can focus on one side, especially if you find a knot. You might want to just, micro roll it out or just hold it. And then if you want a little more pressure, you can lift yourself up and push down a little more. You can also do that one-legged option. I think you have the best view of any studio, right? If I lived closer, I teach in here every day.
It's so awesome. You just walk in here.
Yeah, it's breathtaking.
Learn everything out right.
Oh, for sure. You can get down towards the Achilles there, just not a lot of pressure. Especially that feels good if you've been in ski boots. So. It's fun to watch it all year round because I teach the whole year. And so some people only teach in the wintertime. And I'm like, I get to see when it changes. And like last year, the fall was just brilliant. It was so bright and just lovely and it's gorgeous. And I've been here 11 years. I'm like, I don't think I'll ever be sick of this view. The best.
I totally understand.
Yeah. right, finish up on calves. And then we'll take our roller forward, press at our ankles, and come to all fours. We'll stretch through the calves a little bit in a minute. So starting on all fours, we'll just move through the spine a little bit. Spinal extension, spinal flexion. Inhale as your belly opens up, and exhale as the belly pulls in. All right. With your toes tucked, you're just shifting back until you feel a stretch through your feet. Maybe wiggle it out a little bit. You might find that you want to stay here, and that's plenty. If you want more, you can come up. Okay, we're going to move on to quadriceps. So you want to make sure I wanted to do a calf stretch first. Let's do a down dog. So come up and bicycle out through your heels, lift your doggy out. One heel, make the other heel, working through those feet. And then bend your left knee. Right leg is straight. Just for a moment, focus on that gastrocnemius on the right side, heel down. And then bend your right knee, and that will take you into your soleus muscle underneath the gastrocnemius muscles. Switch sides. So bend your right knee generously, kind of let that right leg hang. Left heel reaching to the floor. It might not touch. Mine's not touching. Towards the floor. Big gastrocnemius stretch. And then bend your left knee. You're not trying to lift your heel up. On the left side, you're actually trying to keep that heel down, but it will lift up a little bit as you bend your left knee, soleus stretch. Place your knees on the earth. Grab your roller, roll it back towards you. All righty, so you're coming to your forearms. You're doing a little bit of a plank here. So abdominals are working, and you're just rolling back and forth on those quadriceps. So just a basic roll forward and back. So as you go back, inhale, and then exhale. Think of your abdominals pulling in as you pull forward. Just going nice and slow. You might feel some sliding, popping, rolling over knots kind of stuff. Totally normal. You can always walk your forearms a little forward more if you need to. An option to intensify, bending the knees, windshield wiping the legs, zigzagging. That adds a whole nother element to it. Painful. Yeah, it's like hurts so good kind of thing. Yeah. And again, you're not stuck to that roller. If you need a peek, you already got your peek. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay, don't have to ask me twice. I'll get it right now. Okay, some other options here. You're externally rotating at the hips, toes out. You're going to get in more towards the adductors. You can also lift, bring your knees together, heels out. And then you've got the option to kind of lean, if you start from that main starting position and lean over, then you're getting a little bit towards the IT band on one side, adductor on the other leg, and then you're just kind of back and forth. I wish I could give you a softer one than the pink, but that's all we got. That's why I say the blanket is nice, because that is adding just a little bit more softness to this. This is really good if you don't get regular massages, which I'm totally bad at, but if you're not getting regular massage, your body's going to get tight and it's not going to be as mobile, and you're more likely to have an injury occur. So super important to do this. If you do massage, at least once a week. If you're lucky, that's great. But if not, try and roll out every muscle group at least once a week. All right, so we should be closer. Yeah, uncle. Okay, she said uncle, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna try those IT bands, and so if you don't already have a pink one, you might want a pink one, but I'll leave that up to you. So your little tibial band, if you get to the band, I'll start with the band. And if you're like, this is so tight and hard and it hurts and I'm not breathing and I want to go home, then maybe you start back at these muscles here. Okay, so tensor fascial latae, glute medius, start at the hip crest, way up here, waistline, hip crest. Yep, so you can roll there. Don't roll on this bone, stay right here. If this is too tight, you can work here, and then when you're ready, come to this point. So if you want to try IT band, mid-thigh. Set the roller on there. The easiest position is arms rooted down and the left leg behind. That way I can lift myself up a little bit if I want. Okay, so start rolling there, see how that feels. I've got several more options for you. So another option is crossing that back leg in front, and then it's harder to lift yourself up, yeah? Another option is a forearm down. Another option is stacking the legs. So those are all the different options. You might notice your body kind of going back and forth, like it wants more pressure, and then it wants less pressure, and it wants more. So really listening to that and doing your best to breathe through this. And rolling, feeling the transition of rolling from your hamstrings to your IT band, or your quads to your IT band. Sometimes just that transition can show some other areas that need attention. So someone that is not very active, their IT band, they might be tight because they are seated a lot, someone that's pretty sedentary. They might need to work more on stability, strengthening through the lateral side of the leg, the hip, and the knee. People that are more active, people that usually come up here, skiers, cyclists, runners, need to do this pretty regularly, or if they can pull the knee out of alignment, create an injury there. The goal is trying to be healthy and active as long as possible, with little to no injuries. And this is a helpful tool to get there. All right, about 3 more breaths, and then we'll take a little pause, a break, and then we'll go to the other side. Good. All right, so if your head's towards me, that's fine. You can throw your legs to the back and head towards me. All we're doing is just letting our bodies kind of integrate what we've just done so far. So let your roller just be under your knees. Feel that side that you just rolled. Notice how it feels. And notice the difference from one side to the other. Let's take in some deep breaths, settling breaths. Belly breath, so you're feeling your belly rise and lower with your breath, calming the nervous system down. One people, one destiny, yeah. I raise all nations, one people, one destiny. All right. When you're ready, you can stretching out a little bit. Maybe you can straighten through your legs, lift up your hips, stretch your arms overhead, and slowly make your way over to the other side. So you might have your head towards me or to the back. But I suggested right side, so left side, unless I didn't see that you were on the left side this last time. So hopefully you don't roll out the same IT band twice. All right, so here we go. So you got that top leg behind, so then you can like hold yourself up if it's too intense. If it's already too intense there, you probably need a different roller. But if you're on a peak and it's intense, then that's okay. Hold yourself up a little bit. And then starting to put more and more body weight as you feel your body starting to relax into this a little more. And maybe it never does. Maybe the whole time you do it, it's just screaming pain. And so just do your best to work through it. If it's screaming pain and you do not have a pink roller, definitely grab one. All right, as you're working the IT band, and maybe you're working up towards the top of the hip if the IT band's too tight, that's fine too. Try some transitions towards your quads, transitions towards your hamstrings. We want that fascia, like I said earlier, sliding and moving with the body. If you're feeling the sliding pop kind of sensation, just start working in that area really gently, micro, teeny, tiny little rolls, pauses with deep breathing. Maybe avoiding that area and then coming back to it later. In yoga, to work through the poses, we use what's called Ujjayi Pranayama. So if you're familiar with that, it's in through the nose, out through the nose, a little bit of constriction to the back of the throat to expel that air. Like you're fogging that glass or a mirror with your breath. Let's take about 3 more of those breaths. Awesome. All right, you guys. Let's do another rest. Head can be towards me. It's fine either way. We're just gonna we'll do another rest at the end. So let's forego that for now. Let's take our hands to our knees, and you're just gonna circle your knees around. So knees go away from the belly and then pull the knees in as you're circling. Feeling that sacrum moving around on the floor, massaging the sacrum, the low back. And go the other way. All right, let's take the right knee into the chest, extend your left leg, and you can have your roller under your left knee or just move it out of the way completely. And you're rolling your right ankle around. Other way. Point and flex. Take a big belly breath, yep. And on an exhale, kick your leg to the sky, hamstring stretch. Again, you can roll through the ankle a little bit more here. Kind of kick that leg into the hands, let your arms straighten as you try and keep your chest open, shoulders trying to reach towards the floor. All the rotations of that right ankle. And then we'll open up the adductor on the side. So you can either take your right foot to your inner left knee and just rest the leg there, or you can hold the side of the leg and take it wide. If you're really flexible, maybe grab the big toe and send that leg wide. So any of those options are great. You can even just send the leg, to a 45-degree angle and just let it hang there or rest on the earth. All right, little spinal twist. So even if your roller's under your knee, that's okay. Just extend out that right leg, little IT bend, stretch, bend, and straighten a few times, or just bend the knee. You can take if your roller's under your left knee, you can bend your left knee and take the sides of your calf on top of the roller. Arms to a T to balance this. Again, option to bend and straighten the right knee, or just hold a bent or hold a straight leg. And then bend in. And let's go to the other side. Right leg is straight, left knee is into the chest. Roll your ankle around. Go the other way. Point and flex. Take a big belly breath. Inhale, exhale, kick to the sky. Some more ankle rotations, flexion extensions. All right, inner thigh stretch. Take that leg wide. You can just make a little shelf with your arm here, or just bring the foot into the left foot into the right knee, or just extend the leg out. Grab the foot. Lots of options, so find one that works for you. All right, bend the knee, and then start to scoot your hips over to the left a little bit. Knee over to the right. Keep that right knee bent, or really bend the right knee and set the outer lower leg on top of your roller as you kick to the right with your left leg, bending, straightening. Maybe you're just holding a spinal twist. Awesome. All right, let's unwind. Got a few more things we can do here. You're gonna have your head towards me, so if it's not there already, then swing yourself around. And then you'll take your roller once you're facing me this way, and your head is pointing towards me, your belly is down, and your roller is gonna be on your right side. You're gonna pull it in towards you, hike your leg up on top, flexing in the knee, the ankle, and rolling the adductor. Left hip lifts a little bit, roll out and in a few times, and then I'll give you another option to kind of get into the hip flexors. All right, so if you feel like you want to stay here a little longer, that's fine, feel free. If you want to move into the hip flexors, top of the quads, I like to tuck my left toes, kind of push into the earth and lift my left thigh, and then I'm rotating, my right heel is pointing towards the ceiling, I think, yeah it is. And then you can work through the top of the hip, the ASIS, the anterior superior iliac spine area of the hip, and where that hip crease is. And you could also hang out, like just top of the quads can be pretty tight and intense, or you could just work on those adductors. About 5 more breaths here. Hopefully you have enough space, right? You're not running into your neighbor too much or into the mirror. Okay, good. Okay, we'll do a little quick roll out of the arms here. We're going to take that roller forward and to the diagonal. You'll take your bicep on top, put them down, and just roll that bicep out. And triceps a little bit harder to get to, but let's try it. So you're going to turn your arm up. You might lift yourself up a little more and lean into that roller. And then you got your forearm, so take it out a little more.
take the meaty part of your forearm and put it right on top. So thumb down again. And actually you're trying to rotate the palm up. So internally rotate your humerus bone. Yep. And pushing down, you can roll your wrist out. You can open and close the hand. Just getting some release through the forearms. All right, let's take it to the other side. Bring your roller over to the left leg, close to you. Push into your right forearm, help yourself up. Hike up that left leg and rolling out and in. And then if you want to work on top of the quads, hip flexors a little more, then you're lifting your right heel up. I'm pushing into my right knee or lifting up that right leg. And then rolling to the top of the quad, hip flexor area, front of the hip even, the ASIS. Moving nice and slow, so it's like not a shocking like transition. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move it to the arm here. Bring your roller up into an angle pretty close towards you so you can set your bicep right on top. Thumb down, and you can kind of rotate the arm a little bit here. And then tricep. So the last 10 minutes we have, let's see, that clock is a little bit fast, not too fast though. We'll have about 10 more minutes of free time. I'm gonna pull out these little massage balls that can kind of target different knots. So if you've gone through this whole class and you're like, man, there's this one spot on my back I'd really like to get a little bit deeper, let's go to forearm. Then you can use that tool if you want. If you don't want to, you can roll out some more. You can relax on your back. Just take a little nap or just rest. All right, so you can keep rolling the arm while I get these out if you want. All right, and these massage balls have no give to them, so just fair warning, they are pretty intense. So pass them out. You don't have to use them, but they're there if you want them. I'm just gonna pass it towards you. Yep. Actually, yeah, I'll just pass them out. Just save me a teeny bit of time. Okay, just enough. Perfect. All right, so if you feel this ball, you'll know like it is intense. You get lots of axis pressure points. So you're welcome. You could start by just working through the feet. So pretend I have a ball under my foot and you're just rolling your foot out and getting all those acupressure points pressed into it. Yep. And if you don't feel like you're getting enough pressure with that, you can stand up and put your body weight into it, and it's quite a bit different. Pretty intense. Yep, and you can roll all the way around. So I roll the whole sole of the foot all the way to the toes, and then get your pinky toe edge. Roll back behind the heel. Get that inner arch. Really good if you have like fasciitis or if you're a runner, if you've been in ski boots, it's a really good tool to have. All right. So if you want, you can switch to the other foot, or you can keep rolling out that foot, spend a little more time there. So for me, what I usually do with the ball is I have knots usually here.
So from where you are now, you can keep using the ball how you choose. You can roll out if you want to, go back over something, or you could lean. So if I had a ball, I would lean to my left, and I would place that ball not on the spine ever. You don't want it on bone. Place it like somewhere erector spinae area, and then do a little print. So pretend like my fist is a ball. I'm just gonna do a little press and then come off of it, move the ball down, press, like you're stamping your back, press. And then you can take the ball overhead, put it under, kind of between the shoulder blade and the spine, and do another press. And then, move it up, down, all around. And I even lay completely on top of it. So that took some time to get used to though. So don't feel like you need to do that today, but you can start just exploring what that feels like up around the back, neck. Sometimes I'll just grab the ball and just massage my neck, base of the skull. And so I'll just give you a few more minutes of free time, let you know when we're about ready to wrap it up. Lower back stretch. I really we didn't even do it, and I thought of it, but I forgot to offer it. It's just this number 4 stretch is nice. The sacrum rollout that we did was this one. But I love this piriformis and glute stretch. So yeah, that's one stretch I didn't add today that you're welcome to do on your own. Yeah. How are you doing? Do you have any questions? Doing okay? We're finding some knots to work through. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, you could just take it in the front there. You don't have to lay on it. You can try, but you could just take that ball even. The front of the shoulder. Yeah, on that one. Yeah, so right here. So if you have your arm down a little more, right here, and lift the arm. It's easier if the arm's down. Harder if the arm lifts. More intense, I should say. Any other questions? All right, I'll give you another minute. Well, let's go one more minute. I like 2 more minutes. I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes. I'm starting a timer. So I'll let you know once this minute's done, and then you'll have 1 more minute to, if you're doing one side and then the other side. And then we'll spend the last couple minutes just lying in Shavasana relaxation. Just like a massage, we want to drink a lot of water after, because you're moving toxicity through your body when you're rolling out. Some people get headaches and stuff after massage, so they can be dehydrated. So that's your halfway point. You got 1 more minute. So just make sure, we've pushed into the fascia, we've moved lymph fluid, so make sure you're drinking lots of water later on today. Well, after this class, as soon as you can. All right, so that last minute, if you are donezo, you can start to make your way into Shavasana. So I'll let you know when that last minute's up. You got about 30 seconds. But if you're feeling tight a little bit in the low back, you can have this under your knees. If you're not, then maybe you don't even need the roller. And then you'll just make your way into that comfortable supine position. And the lying down, the stillness is an opportunity for your body to integrate everything that we've done.
If we don't slow down every once in a while, we eventually burn out. So that second minute is up. Starting to make your way to your back if you're not already there. And just check in with your arms. Does it feel better to have them wide? Or on your heart? Or on your belly? Or one to heart, one to belly? And just giving yourself permission to completely let go. No effort. Tuning into just being, fully being in the moment. We're human beings, not human doing. So tapping into the balance of rest and movement. Find peace in the mind, homeostasis in the body, rest for the heart. Have a couple more minutes here. You're welcome to stay in this position. If you're ready to move a little, you're welcome to start to wiggle, shoulders, shake hips. If you need a moment to pause on your side or anything like that, you're welcome to. Just checking in with how your body feels. Welcome to come up to a seated position if you'd like, or stay on your back or the side. Just placing your hands over your heart, even if you want to stay on your back or your side. Just high-fiving your heart because I feel like self-care is like more of a recent thing that we're learning to do. And we're learning that it is a need, not a want. It really is wanted, but it's a need for us to show up for ourselves so that we can show up for others. So thank you for slowing down, taking some time out for yourself today, take care of your body. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Have a blessed day. So you can leave your rollers out and your balls, because I definitely will sanitize those for the next class since we put our feet on them and everything. So if you have any comments, questions, let me know. Otherwise, to see you again here sometime. I just teach Tuesdays, and actually I just picked up Saturdays, but I don't teach for a couple weeks. So hope to see you again, and enjoy the rest of this wintry day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.